Hello, how you doing this fine day? This is Neil from masterpaintingnow.com, and I'm bringing you a new tutorial. In this one we're going to be drawing Power Girl, and I'm basing it loosely on a photo. The woman in the photo is thick. Unfortunately, I don't have the rights to show it, so that's why you're just going to see the drawing part and then how I transform that into Power Girl, which is really what the focus of this video is going to be about. Right, so getting started here, the first thing I do is I start to capture the basic shapes that I've taught before. The rib cage, and then this kind of bell shape that attaches to the rib cage. I also want to make sure I capture that angle because how she's sitting on this chair. I really want to make sure I push that rib out and I show that angle. And so we'll go back here. So here's the thing she's sitting on. And I really wanted to capture this angle right here, because that was really prominent. And I kind of want to capture some of the thickness as well in here, so I'm actually leaving some of that. But a lot of the stuff I have to change, like the thickness of the leg I change, and the arms I change to be muscular because the model is not muscular at all. And so I'm just adding in muscles as I understand them from anatomy. And then she has like this, this twist of her torso here. So we're seeing it from the side view. And then it twists. And we're seeing a little bit from a 3/4 view. And then also the back is twisting like that. So we can, the whole body's twisting. So we can see a little bit of 3/4 view of the butt and of the breast. I'm going to make the breast much bigger. Right now I kind of just drew them to size and to what I'm looking at. And then I'm going to make them much larger, interpret them to be bigger for Power Girl. I decided actually just to incorporate the high heels that she's wearing into the boots. Do you ever kind of high heel boots? So usually I like to place the hand and then draw the arm to the hand. But I have some issues with this, and I'm like, it just doesn't look right. Like I'm trying to use the information from the photo, but I'm like, no, that just doesn't look right. So I'm just going to go, I end up just going by how I would draw it if I was just drawing a comic character from memory. So making the breast larger here to fit Power Girl, adding some loose things of the hair. And then I bring in some references so I have some idea what her outfit looks like and then how to interpret that onto the sketch here. So first thing is to interpret this here. You're never going to be able to find the exact angle that you're looking for, so you have to just kind of interpret it. But you can see that when you're in a 3/4 view, because of where this goes, you can go, well, I understand. Am I drawing where the center line is? And this center line is basically right here, right? And you can see this is on the little bit on the other side of the center line, so you'll be able to see the bare breast here, right? So you'd have the suit, bare breast, and suit again. So that's how I'm figuring out. I'm thinking about the, how this functions here. I'm going more with this shape though, and then where those center lines are, and that you can see if I continue that center line right here. It would go like that, so you can see it's going outside the center line. So knowing where your center lines are, or where just lines, the vertical lines are in general on your form, really helps you to place certain things like clothing. And then I end up changing this because I don't like it, so I end up making this go higher because you can see on the hip here it's a little bit lower, but here you can see it goes higher, so I end up changing it just to make it good for the drawing. So then it's just about adding clothing details, and you got to just think about, well, how would it look from this? I didn't really like these gloves as much as these ones, so I went more of this style here. As you can see there, and then adding the boots in the same way, and then the cape. So you can see, I know how the cape kind of fits on there, so you can kind of figure out how it would. How would this outfit work from the view that you're doing? This does take, it does help to have some knowledge in drawing clothes, like how clothes are designed if you want to draw them, like design your own clothes to draw them, and also how fabric works and gravity and tug and pull and things like that. So, whenever you're drawing clothes over figures or drawing a character who's wearing a certain outfit and you need to draw that onto your sketch, you could pretty much turn any sketch into somebody else, you kind of want to make the, obviously make the body kind of fit the style of the figure, but for the most part, you can just draw a model and then, use a couple references and draw the clothes on top of it. And you can do that for any superhero. I was going to give her this kind of like face, like almost like a snarl or something. I decided not to because it's just too small of a drawing to add that kind of detail. She kind of looks like Rihanna to me for some reason. I don't know what it is. Maybe the forehead. And so I lowered the forehead a little bit, but she still kind of looks like Rihanna. I'm not really sure why. To me, it does. Just adding some shading now. Some background. I decided to change the face. Now it might even look more like Rihanna. I don't know. Not sure that helps. See here how I drew this in a little bit higher, and then I kind of came up higher here. And this might seem, too thick, but this is how the model looked. And if you want to look at it, it's in the Proco pack. But yeah, so if I was going to draw it more comic-like, more like powergirl, I would make this right here is thin enough. I would probably make this come in thinner right here so it doesn't stick out so much like this. I would come in more here and make this thinner so it doesn't stick out as much. And then I would pull the leg back a little bit so it's not as thick here, and pull it back here a little bit, and then maybe make the butt not quite as big out this way. But yeah, and you can see that as the butt comes down, it flattens out right here, as it should. That's how it is in the model because she's sitting on something hard. And so the gravity pushes up against the fat tissue here and the muscles. I think this hand right here might be a little big. But anyway, for a quick sketch, comes out nice, and then you can see, look at it days later, or try to analyze there. But you'll recognize more mistakes if you look at it later. And yeah, so, and also you can like flip it horizontally or flip it upside down and see if you might be able to recognize things easier that way. And then you go, okay, these are the things I want to change and correct to make a final drawing. And then you can make another sketch or just correct that sketch, just kind of correct some of that stuff and kind of resketch over it. Get the basic idea and changes. So you can like lower the opacity on this layer, make another layer, and then change the things you want to change, and then until you have it to where it looks nice. And once it looks nice, you can blow it up bigger, make another layer, and now start to actually do your final ink lines or final drawing lines, whatever you want to do. Or just go right into painting. You can do that as well. But yeah, so that's basically not just how to draw Power Girl. You can use this technique to draw any superhero. Just, do a basic sketch of a nude kind of figure that's in the style of the body style of the character you're drawing. And then just add, you look at some references and add the outfit to it. Another thing you can do is you don't even have to invent the pose. You can do like I did. You can just look up some cool photos of people that are already in a pose. Sorry about the dogs in the background. I'm going to pause it. And also, if you find one that has a good lighting source, you can translate that lighting into the clothing as well. Just think about how that same lighting source, as it's lighting the figure, would light clothing. Like I just did kind of a loose, quick comic thing here, but you kind of see like this is the one form, this is a separate form, so I kind of did the lighting like that. And then here, there's a wrinkle here, so I kind of did the lighting like this, like a thunderbolt. And yeah, so you can think about just how the lighting's hit it. And the more you think about it, the more detail you can add, or you can just make it more simplistic like I did here, and it works fine for a comic type character. So yeah, it's really cool. Good practice to do. I recommend doing these kinds of, I wouldn't call them studies, but it's a kind of practice, because you're adding anatomy that might not be in, like this, the model I was looking at doesn't have any muscular tone at all. She had the fat that kind of comes all the way down like this for her shoulders, more thicker arms and thicker legs. And so if you want to add the muscle tone, you kind of have to know anatomy. But it's a good way to practice your knowledge of anatomy by picking a model that isn't quite, what you want it to be. So if you're drawing like Superman, pick a model that isn't like super buff or anything. And then you have to add those muscles onto the figure that you're looking at. All right, so that's it. Thanks for watching. If you found this helpful at all, please do me a favor. It only takes you a second. Just click the like button or, smash it with your finger, whatever device you're on. Probably on a phone because most people watch on phone nowadays. All right, thanks for watching.